So, it's a nice day outside, and I decided to record this from my roof because I can't go anywhere else. So, because we did a lot in Bio 360 this semester, I wanted to focus on the things that I found most important to my personal education in the class. So, I will talk about the scientific papers we had to read and write. So, this is my article that I had to annotate and write a review on and write a critique on. I think that this was actually a very fun assignment for me. I know that sounds crazy. Fun and assignment don't really go together. But this one actually was very enjoyable because I did pick a paper that I was interested in, so this one's about lemon sharks and stuff in mangroves. So to me, this was a good pick, but what I learned from this is how to read scientific papers a lot better. I think the assignment really helped me personally understand the paper because it walked you through everything you needed to do to understand the paper fully, annotating it, which I already did know a little bit about, but taking vocabulary and looking it up, things such as site fidelity, I didn't know, what that was before this paper. So site fidelity is the tendency for a shark to remain around the same area over a period of time. And so I wouldn't have known that, and I would have just skimmed over it when I was reading the paper normally, but that assignment really helped me there. So this was actually a good assignment for me, and I did like writing the critique as well, because there's always something to critique about, and there's always something to ask questions about. Can you really draw these conclusions? Are they running out ahead of your data or not? Is your data valuable in any way? Is it viable? And I think that's really cool to look into, and there were certain aspects of this paper that I was able to critique and feel like, I asked the right questions about it. So that's that. It's going to slide off the roof if I don't stop it. Something else that I found pretty interesting, well, let me take that back. Something else that I learned was how to cite my sources. I learned that each journal has its own format, and I'd really like to have a conversation with the people who decided to do that because that bothers me. Something not regarding the citations, but more of the citation machine, Mendeley, that you showed us, I think really helped me this year with my work in general because I had multiple scientific papers I had to write, especially in this class, and Mendeley was a really good way to keep all my citations and papers organized. So it was good to learn how to properly cite things. It's actually very easy for me now. I can just cite it without even looking at the format most of the time. Something that I learned while writing my scientific paper this semester is how to go about writing it, right? So I had all of my data collected first, and then I wrote my outline like we were told to, and then we wrote the rough draft, and then we peer-reviewed it and wrote the final draft. And to me, that process made the paper writing a lot easier just because there was a lot of intermediate steps leading up to here's, my paper, I'm writing it now for myself. Unfortunately, though, I didn't feel like I could have reported about a lot, and so I learned that scientific writing is unfortunately not always about reporting significant data. My data wasn't very significant at all, and I had to write a giant paper about it, and at the end of the day, it did kind of feel weird to write a paper about something that didn't have any weight to it. But I think I did learn a lot about how to use language in the scientific papers and how to really go about collecting sources for your papers. I also had another paper to write in one of my other classes, and I actually had to write this one first, so I followed the specific, our process for writing it, and it actually did help me write mine. So those were the most important things I thought I learned this semester, just because scientific writing and reading is probably one of the most important things you can learn as a scientist or as someone who wants to think critically. So I just wanted to thank you guys for a good semester, and sorry I got cut off short. I wish we could have gone to Mystic and on the trawl. But nonetheless, I think you guys did a good job pulling it together and making sure that we all still got bang for our buck for this class. So thank you.